So previously in Part 1 and Part 2, we learned that there are serious yet subtle problems with socialism. Like 1, running out of money, going bankrupt and defaulting on loans, for example, socialist country Greece. 2, hostile countries running out of money and taking over other countries for their resources, like socialist country Russia. 3, becoming vulnerable to external threats like tyrannical countries, Russia or Iran. Similar to how France was defenseless when Germany took over in World War II and the United States had to save the day. And next is becoming vulnerable from within by being deceived, electing a leader, and giving power to someone who ends up being like Hitler, Stalin, or Mao. These leaders did not just attack other countries. Leaders like these kill their own people when their people do not meet a criteria, or if they complain, or resist, or if they just don't like them. So you see, it is not just external threats you need to worry about. Sometimes a person within our country is given power and they end up being pure evil. Without the Constitution to protect you, you are helpless. You see, when you opted for socialism, you gave up your freedom to choose. Hitler, Stalin, and Mao are all leaders of socialist countries who ended up killing thousands and millions of their own people. That's right, they were socialists. They thought they were smarter than the rest of us and convinced broken or weak-minded individuals that their way was the right way. When the leaders realized they could not control the masses, they killed them. Mussolini once said, "The people do not know what they want. They do not know what is best for them." You, in America, will see that someday. He was a fascist socialist, and he thought he knew what was best for Italy during World War II. He sided with Hitler. Now, what may have been democratic socialism before is becoming pure socialism. Under both types of socialism, success is no longer about what you know, but who you know. Under pure socialism, survival is all about who you know. Socialism is like declawing a cat. The cat will have a hard time surviving outside the protection of the home. You will be prisoner in the home under the protection of a government you should not be trusting. As a declawed cat, exiting the home is scary and dangerous because you do not have any claws to protect yourself. This keeps you within the home. If you can distinguish a socialist from a democratic socialist, then democratic socialists are the ones who are vulnerable to being overrun by socialists, either internally or externally, because they are so heavily dependent on the government or unions who run the country. So why is socialism attractive to people? It sounds attractive because on the surface it sounds wonderful. Who does not want equality, a secure future, and lots of stuff for free? I do, but not at the expense of my or anyone's freedom. So how did Hitler, Stalin, and Mao get power? Usually it starts with people putting their trust in a charismatic person. Many charismatic people know how to manipulate people. That is why you don't see many charismatic Republicans. Republicans are usually boring to younger generations. Also, many people don't like politics, and they don't do their homework. Seriously, who has time? Instead, they find someone they like, someone they think is similar to themselves, and trust that person. They give up their freedom to someone they trust. After a while, the people can no longer make informed decisions and can be easily swayed. Especially the passionate youth of our society. This leads to poor decision-making. It's so tempting to give up your rights, especially right now, but we cannot get sucked into that. The people have to control the government, and giving up your rights is allowing the government to control you. Socialism promotes group thought because you are relying on a few to make decisions for you. This is part of why they have taken over the school system. The other reason is because Plato always said to start with the younger generations to make future change. Our children are being brainwashed. So, really evil socialists tend to kill those who don't agree. They tend to stifle free speech by controlling the media propaganda machine like the newspapers or the internet. Internal threats are just as bad as external threats. So those of you considering socialism, consider this. Did you ever think that maybe I don't want to live in a socialist society like you may want to? Maybe I like technology and I don't mind being poor because I have love, respect, and freedom, so that is all I need? I honestly don't want everyone paying for my health care, and I don't like to go to the doctor. I believe in quality of life, not quantity. I would sooner have very little money and work hard than be given something and lose my freedom. You see, a socialist can live in a capitalist society and do just fine. But a capitalist is not allowed to live in a socialist society. It is not tolerated. So rather than transform this country into a socialist country, why don't we work on making this country better without giving up our rights? There is more about the effects of socialism and why things turn bad in the next video.